UFC 281 Adesanya versus Pereira. Quick pick prediction video. We got Adesanya and Alex Pereira in the main event. Weili Zhang and Carla Esparza in the co-main event. Two title fights. We got a #1 contender type of fight. Michael Chandler and Dustin Poirier. We got a veteran in Frankie Edgar. A veteran in Dan Hooker taking on the up-and-comers in Claudio Puelles, Chris Gutierrez. We got two guys that have been in the top 15, Renato Moicano, Brad Riddell. Top 15 light heavyweights, Reyes and Spann. Top 15 flyweights, Molly McCann, Aaron Blanchfield. In some solid fights on the prelim as well. I'm going to go through every single one of these fights on the prelims as well as on the main card for UFC 281, giving y'all my predictions, who I think is going to win, why I think they're going to win, and how I think they are going to win. That is pretty much the gist of today's video. Make sure to go down, smash that like button, comment your early predictions for every single one of these fights down below in the comment section. And when you're done, make sure to turn on notifications to the channel and check out whenever we drop a new video. With all that being said, let's get in to the quick picks. First fight of the night, we got the light heavyweights, Nega Mariano, Carlos Ulberg in the light heavyweight division. Nikolay is on a 4-fight win streak, only losing to Safarov. If they were to rematch right now, come on guys, Nikolay would win that one. He did go on after that to beat Alexa Kamor, Ike Villanueva, Kennedy Nzechukwu, and Ihor Poirier right there. He's going to be a little bit lengthier than Carlos Ulberg, but not as tall as Carlos Ulberg. Carlos, the much better kickboxer, the much better striker, but he's not going to have, the cardio of Nega Mariano, as we saw in the Kennedy Nzechukwu fight with Carlos Ulberg on that UFC pay-per-view. Ended up gassing out after looking for the knockout early and ended up losing in the later rounds of that fight. If Nega Mariano can survive round #1, which I'm almost certain Nega Mariano is going to lose round #1. If he can survive that round, he will win round #3 if it gets there. But it comes down to round #2, because I'm going to be honest, I do not actually expect a finish here. Nega Mariano came off decision win on Alexa Kamor and then got a knockout win on Ike Villanueva and a knockout win on Ihor Poirier, but did get a very close decision on Kennedy Nzechukwu as well. So I'm leaning more towards the side of the fight does go the full 3 rounds. Round 1, Carlos Ulberg. Round 3, Nega Mariano. Comes down to round 2. I'm going to go the underdog. The betting odds on this one, Nega Mariano, I believe, is going to be the slight underdog for this card, if we can find it. It's very low on here for some reason. I don't know why it's this low, but he is at plus 106. So I got an underdog to start the card in Nega Mariano. Montel Jackson, Julio Arce, 30 years old and 33 years old. Montel is taller. He is lengthier. He's better at range, staying on the outside, and his grappling and wrestling really is not too shabby. In my opinion, beat guys like Felipe Colares, Jesse Strader by knockout, and JP Buys. Not the best and super high-level guys inside the UFC, but he's only losing to pretty solid guys like Ricky Simone and Brett Johns. Do believe it's going to be a close one, but I think Montel will be slightly better on the feet, land a little bit more volume. Power will be even, but Montel, using that height, using that reach, will, in my opinion, get him a close decision win. Right now, he's a 2-1 favorite. I don't agree with that. That's a little bit much, in my opinion. But I got Montel Jackson on the scorecards. Matt Frevola, Azaitar. This one's a close one. I mean, I could see this one being an easy win early on for Azaitar, round 1, round #2. Or I could see Matt Frevola, the steamroller, coming out round #2, round #3, and, beating Azaitar in round 2 and in round #3. I mean, Matt Frevola freaking beat Jalen Turner by a unanimous decision, beat Luis Pena, and beat Genaro Valdez in the last fight. So betting odds are a little bit iffy in my opinion. they're not too iffy in my opinion. I thought for a second Ottman Azaitar was a super big favorite because he was at the start at minus 125, but in my opinion, it should be a lot closer than it is even right now. I don't think Ottman should be like a minus 130, minus 140 favorite. I don't think Matt Frevola should be that big of a favorite either, but I am going to lean Matt Frevola to lose round number 1, win round 2, and win round number 3, and win a decision in this fight. I do not think Matt Frevola should be this big of a favorite. It's not that big of a favorite, but in my opinion, it's a 50-50 fight with a barely edge towards Matt Frevola, because there is a super likely chance he gets starched in round number 1, or gets hurt like he did against Genaro Valdez, maybe even loses a 10-8 rounds in round number 1. You never really know, but I'm going to go Matt Frevola by a decision. Sungwoo Choi, Mike Trizano, they're both on 2-fight losing streaks. Both are 30 years old. Pretty similar height, but a good reach advantage for Sungwoo Choi. I believe Sungwoo Choi is a slightly better striker, and the grappling and the wrestling, I do not expect to be that big of a problem here. Choi does hit harder, and he's got a slightly better chin, so I'm going to go Sungwoo Choi. Either a late finish, round number 3 knockout, or a decision. He's a minus 155, which I would say makes some sense. Carolina Kovalevich, Silvana Gomez Juarez. I am going to go Silvana Gomez Juarez to win this fight, but is not confident. They're both 37 years old. Carolina coming off a submission on Felice Herrig in her last fight. But before that, I mean, she got submitted by Jessica Penne, lost to Yan Xiaonan, Alexa Grasso, Michelle Waterson Gomez, and things like that. I think it's going to be a close one. Striking should be pretty interesting, but Silvana will have the edge. And I don't think Carolina's advantage on the ground is going to be by that much. So I think Silvana will outstrike her on the field, land the harder shots, and win a decision for our second underdog of the card in Silvana Gomez Juarez. She's a favorite on Tapology. I'm not too sure why she's not the favorite on the betting odds. Wellington Turman and Andre Petroski. I'm going to be honest, I think Andre is going to be slightly better when it does come to the striking here. He is going to be a little bit lengthier. Not as experienced as Wellington. The man has been fighting forever. Coming off wins on Misha Serganov and Sam Alvey, losing to Andrew Sanchez and Bruno Silva. But I do think Andre Petroski should go out there and outstrike Wellington Turman, and then the wrestling and grappling is going to be very even. So, Wellington, I believe in a few years' time, will be a pretty good fighter in this middleweight division, probably around that top 25, but right now, I think he's going to lose to a lot of the guys right outside of that top 25, top 30, like an Andre Petroski. So I think Andre Petroski will not knock out Wellington Turman here, will not submit Wellington Turman, but will ground and pound a little bit and outstrike Wellington Turman for a unanimous decision. Betting odds for that one are interesting indeed, as well as Wellington Turman, almost a 2-1 underdog. I don't agree with that one. Should be a little bit closer. Then we got Aaron Blanchfield, Molly McCann. I do have Aaron Blanchfield winning, but just like the last one, the odds should be a lot closer in my opinion. Molly's a much better striker. Not as lengthy as Aaron Blanchfield. She's very long for the division, but she's the better wrestler, the better grappler, and things like that. Molly is the much better striker, but eventually Aaron should be able to get the takedown. Do I think she should be a minus 400 favorite or something crazy like that? No. Come on, guys. No. I don't think she should be that big of a favorite, especially on this card. UFC 281. I do think Aaron will have some success on the ground, but Molly will have some success on the feet. Aaron by a close 29-28 decision. Dominic Reyes, Ryan Spann. Ryan, very on and off, like win one, lose one, win one, lose one, over and over again. Lost by submission to Anthony Smith right there. Knocked out Misha Serganov and submitted Iwan Kutalaba. But I think on the ground, the wrestling and the grappling should be relatively even here. But I do believe that Dominic Reyes is going to be a slightly better striker. They have similar chins and things like that. I can see both guys getting knocked out in a fight like this. But I think Dominic Reyes is going to be throwing a little bit more volume. He will lose round number 1, and it's going to be like, oh no, Dom Ray is about to lose 4 in a row in the light heavyweight division. But I think Dominic Reyes is going to outstrike him round 2 and outstrike him round number 3 to win a close 29-28 decision. Those odds, though, should be a little closer in my opinion. After that, we got Renato Moicano and Brad Riddell In the lightweight division, Brad on a 2-fight losing streak. Hanato got destroyed in his last fight with RDA, but he is only on a 1-fight loss. Before that, beating Alexander Hernandez and Jaya Herberts. All of these guys he's beating are by rear naked choke submission, but he is getting knocked out a few times, getting hurt on the feet a lot inside of the UFC. Brad Riddell beating Magomed Mustafayev, Alex Del Silva, and Drew Dober losing a half AF Aziev and Jalen Turner. Two high-level fighters in these top 15 of the lightweight division. Predictions are 50-50 right there, but I do believe Brad Riddell will outstrike Renato Moicano in the feats and win a 29-28 decision here. I believe this might be an underdog. Plus 108 for Brad Riddell. So another underdog for UFC 281 in Brad Riddell. I do have him winning that fight on the judges' scorecards. Dan Hooker, Claudio Puelles is a simple one. Claudio is the underdog as well, so I don't know how I have so many underdogs winning, but he's at plus 130, plus 140. I do believe Claudio will kickbox on the feet. Dan Hooker will obviously hurt Claudio Puelles on the feet a little bit, land the better shots on the feet as well, but Claudio will land the takedowns as well, and let's go submission. Let's go Claudio Puelles by submission. Round number 2. Round number 1 is going to be a little bit of a feeling out process. Claudio will get the takedown at the end of round number 1, figure out the range in round 2, land that takedown, and finish Dan Hooker on the ground. Frankie Edgar, Chris Gutierrez. I don't know how. I don't know why this is such an underdog card for me, but I got another underdog. I'm going to go Frankie Edgar to win as a 2-1 underdog right here. He's the better wrestler, the better grappler, better on the ground, and his striking really is not that bad. Was able to go out there and outstrike Pedro Munoz in their fight, was able to out-wrestle Marlon Vera, and was winning that fight as well. If you're able to go out there, take down Marlon Chito Vera, control him on the ground, and win 2 rounds in that fight, and then get knocked out, if you're able to beat Pedro Munoz in the striking as well as in the wrestling, I think he should have some success here with a guy like Chris Gutierrez, who got out-wrestled in round 1, round 2, against a guy like Cody Durden, who's not on the level of Frankie Edgar, and Frankie's a little bit bigger as well. The guys that Chris is beating, Andre Ewell, not in the UFC, Felipe Colares losing to freaking the math teacher, Chase Hooper, and then Bajadil Dana. Solid guys there, but not in the level of Frankie Edgar, in my opinion. I think Frankie ends his career on a high note and wins by wrestling and grappling. Gets close to the finish every now and then in this fight, but wins a decision. Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler. In the lightweight division, I got Dustin Poirier by a war 29-28 decision. I do believe he's going to be the faster striker. He's going to be the taller, lengthier guy as well. He's going to be the more experienced fighter, fighting the better competition, and he's just going to be destroying Michael Chandler on the feet. Michael will close that distance and land some good shots, possibly mix in some takedowns as well, but he's not going to control it on the ground. Dustin Poirier's speed and volume will win the fight on the scorecards. Carla Esparza, Weili Zhang. In the strawweight division, we're going Weili Zhang, 2nd round or 3rd round TKO. Sorry about that. After she defends a few of Carla Esparza's takedowns, pressures her back to the cage, and does exactly what Joanna Jędrzejczyk was able to do in that first title fight, and TKOs Carla in round 2 or in round number 3. And Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya. I got Pereira winning by a decision, landing the harder shots, Adesanya winning, or landing more shots, as in more volume, but the power shots of Alex Pereira will get him the win on the judges' scorecard. So, those are the picks. I got underdog Alex Pereira. I got favorite Weili Zhang. I got favorite Dustin Poirier. Underdog Frankie Edgar. I think I put the wrong title on this one. I got underdog Claudio Puelles. I got underdog Brad Riddell. Favorite Dominic Reyes. Aaron Blanchfield the favorite. Andre Petroski the favorite. Underdog Silvana Gomez Juarez. Favorite Sungwoo Choi. Favorite Matt Frevola, favorite Montel Jackson, and underdog Nicole Nega Mariano. I got underdog 1, underdog 2, I got underdog 3, underdog 4, underdog 5, underdog 6. I got 6 underdogs out of 14 gosh dang fights at UFC 281. Like and subscribe. Put your predictions down below in the comment section. Check the links down below for all of my bets on UFC 281. Adesanya versus Pereira. And the link before that for $125 absolutely for free. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.